Hi everyone. This is your girl Deborah with Talk Your Talk, where you see me every Thursday live, raw, and in person. Tonight I am very, very excited. I always say I'm very excited, but tonight is really the night, right?
All right.
I
Ha
have
ha.
from one vet to another vet. This is
Yes.
where it is very personal.
Correct.
Anybody know if you are veterans, no matter if you serve with the person or not, they're considered your battle buddy.
Come on
So
now.
I refer to him as my battle buddy, Bernard, or the laugh therapist, because you all will laugh tonight
Come on
during this
now.
podcast. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you all the lab therapist who is also a veteran. And I want him to introduce himself and kind of share it first what we're going to talk about. We're going to get right into it because we don't want to waste any time.
Yeah.
Let him know.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Deborah. Thank you very much for having me. This is an awesome platform, an awesome outlet for just people who are veterans and who are non-veterans. I want you to know I have taken my medication. Now I take it in the morning. I don't know if it done wore off by now, but we're gonna find out in a minute. But my name is Bernard Hines, aka the Laugh Therapist. Listen, I'm a 20 years, 7 months, 4 days retired Army veteran. I
All
did my
right
two
now.
tours in Iraq, did my tours, did my time, and I just love giving back. I love making people laugh. Really, it's for me. They are benefiting from my therapy because laughter is a healthy dose of therapy for me.
Yes.
So being able to give that back to veterans, I go to the VA hospital. I just love being able to give that back to people that need a laugh. I love it. I
And you
love it.
know what? The good thing about that is that I listen to you say, I love it. I love to give back the laughter because of you've been in the military. A lot of people
Correct.
don't understand. I want you to elaborate a little bit on why you chose laughter. I mean, you served in the military. Everybody say anybody served got a lot of money,
Yeah.
but but listen, they say with more money comes more problems,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And so there's something that they refer. They think a lot of people in the military has everybody has PTSD. What
Correct.
what is your acronym of PTSD?
My acronym for PTSD, people call it post traumatic stress disorder, which it is, but I
Right.
call it processing traumatic situations differently. Because I say everybody processes trauma in some type of way differently than the next person. Some people use drugs, alcohol, all kind of sex, whatever they use to try to process that. Mine just happened to be laughter, and laughter chose me. I didn't choose
Mm,
laughter. Laughter chose me because growing up, I used to always, they say I was the class clown, I was a barbecue comedian in the military, but that was my way of shielding how I really felt.
woo.
I would say something that I really meant, and I would like, you know what, man, I'm just joking. I'm just no, but I was serious, so I would be
Mm,
hurting while the other person thinking everything is okay.
woo.
So laughter chose me because when I left the Iraq War, la- laughter was nowhere near me. I couldn't laugh. I didn't want to laugh. I didn't want no emotions. I didn't want to use none of my emotions. So, I went through a situation where I thought about ending my life. And we're going to
Right,
be real about that.
right,
Thought
right.
about ending my life. And once I got over that, a friend of mine asked me, because I had two other names before. I ain't gonna tell you what them names was. Them names were crazy. Well, I'm gonna tell you. One of them was Reverend Peanut Butter and Jelly. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody beat. That's crazy. So, so when I wanted to revamp my comedy, I say, what can I be? And I was talking to a young man. We was brainstorming. He said,
Mm-hmm.
man, what really got you over? I said,
Mm.
going to a therapist and laughter. He said, well, won't you call yourself the laugh therapist?
Wow.
Just that simple.
A simple
A
conversation.
simple brainstorming conversation. And now with the laugh therapist, I'm able to go to the VA hospital, speak to veterans, also add a little laughter in it because when you can add laughter into a serious conversation, it makes it plausible for that person to receive it.
Yep, yep,
I've had so many people after I do a show to come up and say, "Yo, man, yo, you talking about that PTSD, bro? I understand that. I
yep.
understand." Or people say, "Now I understand my family member a little better because
Wow.
I did comedy shows and I used to invite the wounded warriors out.
Okay.
And one of the biggest things that really blessed me was a woman came up to my wife and she was like, my husband haven't laughed, or he hasn't, well, I don't know about smiling, but she said he hasn't laughed in 7 months until tonight.
My God.
And I talked to the brother. He said, man, I could relate to you. I felt like nobody can relate to me. And that's how, that's how we feel when we come back. We can talk to anybody else about the war, about what we
Yeah.
went through, but talking to a family member, like, you don't understand.
They
But
try.
they try. And sometimes we have to allow them to understand at their level, at their
That's right.
speed.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
And laughter being a healthy dose of therapy. You think about when you laugh a lot, it takes away
oh my
in that
gosh.
moment thought that you had. Like it's funny, you feel good,
That's right.
your head hurting.
That's right.
I can't breathe, right?
That's right. In
Because
that
you
moment.
laughed.
Right.
And I want to say this, Bernard. A lot of people think PTSD is just from serving in the military.
Come on now. That's
It's
why I
not,
changed that acronym. Because
right?
trauma has been, I went to a conference. They say if you have a brain, you have had trauma.
Yeah,
Period, point blank.
right.
It's just the level of trauma that people have had.
That's it.
And it's just that level. So you can, when I went and talked to my therapist and talking to her and telling her some stuff, she said, young man, yes, the Iraq war gave you and you did your stuff there, but you had PTSD before you even came in the military.
Let me guess. You subconsciously push that
Suppressed.
back.
There
You
you go.
suppressed it, and probably you, like you said, you was like the class clown in school.
There you go.
So, Bernard, I'm going to refer to that. I always use the Allen Iverson as
Okay.
an example. Being a mascot, you were a mascot for years.
Oh, I
You,
love that.
you hid behind
Yep.
that mascot of
Yep.
laughter through
Yep.
your pain,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
And a lot of times, think about it, the class clown was always the most popular.
Oh, and that was my high school career. I was voted most popular of my high school in
I knew it.
1980s. I was
I
voted
knew
most
it.
popular. That's right.
I knew it.
That
Because believe it or not, if you can make people laugh, oh, they got
oh
cool. They
that
love you.
I was in. Listen, I haven't had the last fight I had was the 7th grade. That's the last fight I had. That girl beat me so bad. I said I got to figure out what I need to do. But that's serious. I haven't had a fight since 7 because I was always laughing, always making folks laugh. It was like, yo, man, you cool. But that was my way in because I felt like I could not fit in no other way but
Wow.
to make folks. But I realized what I was trying to do was trying to please everybody
Woo.
and wasn't pleasing myself.
Self.
So I'm dying and everybody else is getting what they need, doing what, but I'm like, as long as they're happy, I'm happy. But that's one of the biggest lies in the world.
It is,
I
Bernard.
think as
And no,
long
no,
as they
no. It
happy,
is.
as long as they happy, I'm happy. You're dying. I was
Bernard,
dying.
the worst type of loneliness is when you cannot be alone by yourself.
Self. Yep.
When you cannot be alone by yourself and you do not find happiness within, then you're sad.
There you go.
You're sad, you're miserable, you're irritable, and it's not like you want to be there, Bernard,
Right.
but you have not found that way out for self-love, and things compound that.
That's right.
Relationships,
Shit. Mm-hmm.
losses,
Mm-hmm.
life,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Divorce.
Divorce, right?
Blended family.
All,
All that. Mess.
all
All
that
that. Yeah.
just feeds into, and guess what? When it feeds into it, remember, this is the core, right? This
Mm-hmm.
this is the core. This is the self. But when all that stuff start piling, look how far away
You are
all those things start moving
correct.
from self, right?
Correct.
From the core.
Correct.
And now in life, you're trying to peel back all of that
All that.
trauma, trying to peel back all of that where it's difficult to get back to that core.
Correct. That's why I share with people to go early.
You have to.
If you can go early, because I'm telling you, Deborah, I did not like myself. People would be like, I'm around me, but I hated myself because I allowed a lot of stuff to happen
Mm.
that I should not have allowed to happen because I was just wanted to be loved. I wanted to please everybody. And that hurts when you trying to please everybody That
Bernard,
is woo.
it's a lot. And you know what? I can, from one vet to the next vet, I did 20 years in the military, just
Congratulations.
retired. Thank you. It retired in 2021. And I did 3 combat tours in
Mm-hmm.
Kuwait, Iraq, Baghdad. Pretty much they was all combined together.
Okay.
Um, but I will tell you that once I got out, my first tour in 03, 04, I realized about a year after my first deployment, something was not right with me.
Come on.
I realized it,
Come
but I was
on.
in denial, Bernard. I
Ooh.
was in denial. I said, it's probably just an adjustment to
Just
this, adjustment to
mm-hmm.
that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
okay. But then I went from being this happy-go-lucky person, wanting to laugh all the time, wanting to go here, go there. I don't want to be around people.
Yep.
I'm irritable for no reason. I'm hitting a fly with a sledgehammer, right?
Oh, I
I'm
like
taking
that.
any little thing and making it bigger than what it
What
was.
it correct.
Oh my gosh.
Correct.
It really hit me one day after my
Okay.
second tour when my son, he's 16 now, but he probably was like 7 at the time. He hugged me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when he hugged me, I was leaning down. He put his arms around my neck and was like hanging like a tree. Like my mind wanted to
Mm.
do something to my son
Wow.
in that moment.
Okay.
It triggered me and took me back to
Mm-hmm.
something that happened to me overseas.
Wow.
And I said, hold up.
Mm-hmm.
I had to ground myself. So by this time I had started therapy, I had to ground
So
myself and
that was
said,
your breaking. That was your
it was
point.
my breaking point. I
Right.
said, I stopped. I said, you're not in Iraq.
Correct.
You're home.
Right.
You're home. This is your son,
Correct.
right? That was just one of many things
Of many
that
things.
made me realize that PTSD trauma is real.
It's real. My daughter, when she was 12, she'd be 21 in 2 weeks. I heard her say that she was scared of me
Mm,
because they couldn't be kids anymore. And when I'm on stage, I tell folks, I say I got 3 people in my head. I got Vernard, Christian, and Felix. Okay. Now Felix is the one that tell the jokes. He the one that been to Iraq. Vernard died when he went to Iraq.
mm,
The Vernard that went to Iraq did not come back as the Vernard when he left. So I was seen as he different.
yeah,
He ain't like he used to, he ain't happy go lucky like he used because I had died
yeah,
into myself. I mean
yeah,
my emotion was everywhere. We was told don't worry about what's going on back in the world or we call
yeah,
it the world because
yeah.
at any given time your mind could just think about what's going on back there and boom you did. So
Somebody can die.
somebody
Yep,
can die. I couldn't
yep.
worry about if someone died back there. It's like so, but this was my biggest thing. This was my biggest thing when I knew we had 7 people perish in one day. And when we had to go in through the ceremony, we had the helmet, the rifle, and the boots. Once we went to that, and then one day later or a couple hours later, we was back on the road. When you gotta compartmentalize that,
Bernard,
when you
you
gotta put
talking now.
when you gotta put that somewhere else and go and still do a mission,
Bernard,
and
hold on, hold on. Stop. Let's toast to our fallen comrades.
let's toast to our fallen comrades.
Let's toast.
Toast. People people don't under when you got to learn how to put that somewhere else to keep going on. So when you come back and now you with your family and
Yep.
there's something that happened, oh, okay, no problem. I'll just put that somewhere else. Now I'm called he detached.
Woo!
He detached from the family.
Or he
I'm not
numb.
he numb. I'm really not detached. I'm just putting that somewhere else so I can go to work.
Woo!
So, so it's just a lot. I had one of my best friends. He told me, he said, "Man, if people would look at you, they would not realize that you have PTSD." I said, "Because I did the work in therapy to be able to function in the world, but y'all don't see what my wife go through at home
Say that again. Hold on. Stop right there. Say that again. They don't see what?
They don't see what my wife go through at home when I'm walking around the house, and sometimes she like, what is wrong? What? But thank God for my lovely wife because she
Yeah,
went to therapy and she went with the therapy with me to find out, okay, what is his triggers? What
yeah,
what makes him what makes him tick? And by her loving me,
mm,
I said, I give her the world because,
yeah,
and sometimes you feel unlovable
yeah,
because people expect you to act a certain way. And I
yeah.
messed up. I ain't gonna say I messed up, but I moved back home. And when
Okay.
I moved back home, I still was saw as a little boy who left.
Mm.
So I mean, it's just a lot. But I tell you what though, laughing, people don't understand. When I'm on stage, that is one of the only times I feel like I'm in charge.
Oh my gosh. You know why
That
you talking right now? My mind just want to say everything after what you're saying. See, that listen, that's that compartmentalizing that they teach us to do to deal with the next
correct,
thing so
correct.
nobody dies, so you live. But when you compartmentalize and it's time to come back to it, a
To
lot of times you don't feel like it.
you don't.
Or
Oh
or
my God.
or,
Go
or
ahead,
a lot
girl.
of times you push it off,
Push it
right?
off. Correct.
But life still goes on. And uh,
Life don't care about PTSD, and PTSD don't care about life. They are going to happen. They are going to collide. Period.
life
Point blank.
they don't life don't care about depression, life don't care about trauma,
Nothing.
life don't care about anxiety, life don't care about any type of psychosis, nothing.
Correct. Correct.
So guess what? When life don't care about that, people resort to suicide
Side.
sometimes.
That's right.
People resort to being homicidal.
Mm-hmm.
People resort to going into shells, Bernard,
That's right.
and not knowing how to get out of it.
It we see people on the street, and sometimes we'll say, well, won't they just go get a job? Won't they just go? Do you know sometimes if to a person that's dealing with their mind, it is better for me to live in that woods
Say it
than have
again.
to go home and worry about bills, worry about emotions, worry about being a husband, worry about being a father, worry about making sure this is that what I'm supposed to be. I can sit out here in this woods, get me some shelter, and don't nobody bother me, and I don't bother
Bernard,
you.
yes.
People don't understand. I fight daily
Mm,
with
mm,
my.
mm.
I still have dreams right now
Yes, Bernard.
of me still being in Iraq trying to get back. I punched the bed the other night. I punched the back because I'm telling you, people don't understand. And I'm not trying to glamorize this. I'm just saying what people live with and what we live with to make sure other people are happy.
Yes, Bernard. Bernard, I'm going to validate what you said. It's not like it wasn't true. I'm just going to validate it even more.
Mm-hmm.
When I was working in the homeless department at the Hampton VA Medical Center, I was working with the veterans.
Okay.
We would do the veteran outreach. We would go out to under the underpass. We would
Mm-hmm.
go out to the woods and stuff. And I have heard multiple veterans that would come into the VA Medical Center and say, I just want food. They just want food. They want a kit to take back out with them. I had one person to tell me, I don't want to. He was approved for a HUD voucher. He said, I don't want it.
There you go.
He
Yeah.
said, he said, because I don't want to have the stress of trying to pay the bills. He said,
Come on
I
now.
I'm at this position because of what happened to me
Mm.
with my mental health. He
Right.
said, so I'm okay with just coming in, getting the help I need, and going back out and sleeping on couch to couch if I want to,
Mm-hmm.
standing on the side of the road and collecting money here and there, not going back
Mm-hmm.
to work, afraid I'm going to lose my job. But we don't see it like that
Correct.
because we are taught to thrive, right?
That's right.
Everybody wants to thrive.
That's right.
But
That's
when
right.
life kicks in, it's
That
different.
and I know we're talking about, veterans, but that's people in life too.
It is.
That's
It
people in life
is.
too. Because the worst thing I did is when I left the military and like 6 months, 7 months after I left, I went back working for the Army. I
Mm-hmm.
worked at Fort Eustis. I didn't give my brain a chance to detach from the military. So I'm telling you, I used to drive from Chesapeake to Fort Eustis. Okay, that's about an hour drive. With traffic, it could be longer.
I bet you didn't have your radio on, did you?
I had my radio on. I had it on, but I had it on loud. I
Okay.
had I
Uh-huh.
had to have it on loud. But do you know how many times I fought myself with just saying, you know what, man? You can just go over this bridge, and you be good to go. You people don't know the battles that not just veterans that people have in their mind. That's why I do not down anybody who is having a mental problem or mental crisis because I've been there. I don't tell folk, man, get over it. Look what you got to live for. Look what you
Thank you
we
for
know
saying
that.
that.
We
Thank
know
you
what
for
we got to
saying that.
live for. But it's
Right.
just that moment in our mind. We don't People just want the pain to stop. It's not about I just want this pain I'm going through where no one understands me. People expect me to be this. But the one thing I love about my beautiful wife, and I'm gonna keep giving her flowers, she can dictate now and she can know when I'm being overwhelmed in a situation.
Yep.
She's,
Yep.
oh, we got the road. He's overwhelmed. Let's go. I don't care where
Yep.
it's at. I don't
Yep.
care where it's at. He's overwhelmed. Now it took her some time to learn that,
Yep.
but once she stood that and talked to my my therapist, see, because the VA called her my caregiver. My
Mm.
therapist said, let's change the wording. She's my partner in recovery. So now
Mm.
that she's my partner in recovery, that makes me have to do something too. I still got to go to my appointments. I still got to take my meds. I still
Yep.
got to let her know when I'm not when I don't feel like being bothered. I just want to go in here, sit down and chill. I have to come forth and let her know that. So
Yep.
cuz she is my partner in recovery. She can't read my mind.
Right.
So it takes that veteran or that person to give their spouse freedom to say, "Hey, something ain't right with you. Go in there." I will come in the room sometime and the the sheets are thrown back. I said, "What that for?" Go to bed. Take a nap. take take a take a nap. You all you all over. But it had to get to that. But now I don't see it as she's
Yeah.
demeaning me.
Yeah.
She's calling me a child. She don't
Yeah.
think so it is a lot of stress with marriage anyway.
It is.
Then you add a mental illness onto it. That's even worse.
And you said that with your wife being your partner in recovery,
Mm-hmm.
you have people out here that's dealing with stress and their mental illnesses. Let's just go back.
Okay.
Some people do not want to admit to
That's right.
having
That's
a
right.
mental illness, right?
That's right.
Or admit to having some type of stress or diagnosis because of the
Stigma.
stereotype
The stigma.
and the stigma
That's
that's
right.
with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lately, I've been seeing a lot of people put things on Facebook saying, I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This is a lot for me. I need help.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who it is, Bernard. Whenever I see that, I would put them a message there and I would praise them for allowing themselves to be vulnerable
To be
in front of a
vulnerable.
lot of people,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
Because a lot of times we're afraid to be vulnerable, not alone by family, but around other people
Mm-hmm.
who are strangers to us because we're afraid of being judged,
Correct.
right? Secondly, I will also go into their inbox and I would give them information,
There, there
education,
you
and
go.
I also say, hey, you can reach out to me. I don't care where I'm at in my life or how whatever God has for me to be whatever status, I will always humble myself and be
Correct.
willing to talk to anybody because firsthand I am someone that have been suicidal, right?
Correct. Okay.
I am someone that have attempted suicide,
Okay.
right? I am someone that has a spouse that goes through this with me. I
Mm-hmm.
had, he actually before I went to the PT weeks, before I actually did that and went for 12 weeks, my husband had to work with my family to make sure the kids were still good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had
Mm-hmm.
to lie and say I was going on a trip because I
Mm-hmm.
was afraid about what people would say about me,
Say.
Bernard, because
Correct.
they look at Deborah as look at me,
Look at
right?
you
I'm
on your own.
beautiful. I'm smiling all the time.
Right.
I'm always helping others. I
Right.
have, businesses. I'm always this. But what they don't know is that I hide all
Of
of this through
course.
all of that.
Of course.
Okay?
And I have learned, hold on, I'm sorry, I have learned we always checking on the people who we feel are not the strong, but who's checking on the strong person?
Bernard.
Who's checking on the strong person? The one that's in the family that's always the one that everybody goes to. Who checking on that person?
Yeah. And Bernard, I gotta say, and for you all that's tuning in, I see people tuning in on all the platforms. Um, Bernard, the laugh therapist, is also a veteran, and this podcast is about how laughter is a healthy dose of therapy, right? We are truly talking about, with being both of us being retired from the military, how trauma can put a hold on your life.
Mm-hmm.
It can put a hold on your thoughts. It can make you stuck. And how we have found therapy and found ways
That's
to
right.
bring that out of us. But we're also telling you all how it's still a daily
It's
struggle.
still a daily struggle.
Yes.
It's still a daily struggle. And I I love to laugh. I love to be on stage and just like I said, I feel like I'm in control.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I'm in control. I now get to the point that in my stand up, I let folks know I have an occupational hazard. Okay, sometimes I lose memory of what joke I'm about to tell, and I ask somebody, "Now, what joke was I?" And that's true. I
I be-
don't sugarcoat nothing. What I have is what I have. This is me. I have conformed my life so much to others
mm,
that now it's like I'm not going to disrespect nobody. I'm not going to intentionally hurt somebody, but this how I live now. God looks at the heart of man.
that's
If
right.
I know my heart is pure or what I said or done, it was out of a pure heart. If I hurt your feelings, I'm going to come and apologize.
Right.
But I'm going to
Right.
let you know that was never my intention. So it's like we have to get to a point where we have to understand and know ourselves. I know
Yeah.
myself. I know, I really know myself. My kids know me. I know myself. And it had got to a point where they was looking at me as all I was PTSD.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we had to go through and be like, listen, y'all, listen, we all got to live in this life. Okay. I don't
Right.
want all this to be about me and my PTSD and my what I've been through. But I tell you what though, what I did go through in the war is benefiting a lot of people.
Come on now. Come on now.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
So
That's right.
is let's not get it twisted. So it is a as you say, it's a daily struggle, but I've come to realize is I don't know why God allowed me to go through this and have it, but I know He's trusted me to give it away. I would
Yes.
talk about my PTSD struggles, my therapy, because I don't care how people see me. I know people like, how can you? I really don't care as long as my family, my kids, as long as they know that I
Yeah.
love them and that I'm genuine and I'm gonna make mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't get caught up in the social media of I'm not getting booked or I'm not doing this. I can't do that because we do something in our house. And I do an analogy of a computer. When you on a computer, every now and then you have about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tabs open on your browser.
Sure do.
And when you have those many tabs open, it's slowing up your memory.
Yes.
So we'll go, me and my wife, we'll go through the house and she see me just spacing, she's like, close your tabs. Close,
Mm,
close your tabs.
I
Because
like that.
I got so much on my mind. Close your tabs. And I would go to her sometime. Baby, close your tabs.
I like
Because
that.
we always thinking, so I'm not telling her, what the world are you thinking of? What's all? Close your tabs.
Mm.
And it's how you say certain things to a person.
And you know what? This is the struggle that my husband have with me because
Hold on, I must
you
be
keep
fat. Hold
saying
on, sweating.
no. Hey, you just said something that you got to let it out. So you let it
Yeah,
all out,
there you
right?
go. I go
That's a
what you
part of
gonna
us
say.
processing.
There you
Look,
go.
let me say this. See, that's that short
That
term memory is already gone. Because
You
guess
said
what? When
something.
you
You said something about your husband. You said something about your husband. Come on back. Come on back.
see how you compartmentalize it. Because while I'm having this podcast, I'm always thinking about what I got to do when I get off the podcast.
Yeah.
See, all right, I got it. So it's with the control. You
Okay.
said something about control several times when you do your stand up. And y'all, let me say this: I met Bernard at my best friend's Christmas holiday party,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just leaving from the funeral home, so I didn't have on the attire. Everybody was clean. I had on my funeral home attire, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go there and I ran into him, and we
Correct.
talked. And he was like, "You were vet? You were vet?" So we immediately connected.
But I'm gonna tell you though. Can I just let me say this?
Go ahead. Okay.
When you said that you was a veteran, that you asked me a couple of questions, I was trying to sound like I knew what was going on, but I didn't know your background. I'm like, she know all the VA stuff. Why am I? I felt so. Then I was like, okay, let me go back and humble myself. I don't know all that she knows, and now she's helping me with some stuff I need. So, hey, it is what it is.
Because look, let me tell you, I am a plethora of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
If you can ask anybody I know,
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot for a lot of people, informational wise, educational, whatever. Or I can steer you in the right direction
Mm-hmm.
all the time, right?
Resources. That's all it is. Resources.
I am a book of
There you
resources,
go.
right? And sometimes my husband will get me because I'll stop what I'm doing or I'll stop slamming my tracks to make sure I'm helping somebody else, right?
Correct. Correct.
Because that's a part of that part. I have not truly mastered where you are, where I still like validation of knowing that I'm helping somebody else because the military has taken so much control from me
I get
where
that.
I feel like I have control by helping others. Does
I
that
get
make
that.
sense?
That makes a whole lot of sense.
Okay. And so that's been a problem for me a lot of times is that I have the sense of wanting to control everything.
Everything. Wow.
Because when I served Bernard, I couldn't control. When my battle buddy wasn't there anymore and I had to salute that boot, I had to get back and do a mission,
Come on
right?
now.
I didn't have time to grieve,
Come on
right?
now.
I wake up with you and I say hey to you, and next time I'm saluting your boot,
That
right?
happened to me. Yep.
Hurry up and wait. Hurry up and get there, but you sit and wait
Mm-hmm.
and you have no control over that,
That's right.
right?
That's
You
right.
sleeping outside in the middle of nowhere and you see flares going up and you know
Mm-hmm.
that you might have to go to a bunker,
Come on
right?
now. Come on
No
now.
control over your life,
No control.
no control. And so when I come back home and now I got to listen to what
You
my
can't
husband
tell
wrote,
me
you
nothing.
can't tell me nothing. What you say? Huh? Who you think you are? Do you know what I've done? Do you know who I am?
Damn. Listen, we went through that too because my wife married me. She ain't know nothing about the military. So she married me after the military to find out about my PTSD.
That's my
So,
husband too.
right. So she like, can't nobody tell you. I said, let me tell you something. For 20 some years of my life, they told me when I can go, where I could come, how long
When I
I can
can
stay, how long I can stay. If it's gonna be a year, I'm going to the woods for 30 days. I don't if I'm sick, I gotta go ask somebody else, am I sick? If my family member if somebody in my family die, I gotta go and ask if I can leave and go. Yeah. And when
yeah.
you in that controlled environment and you get to a point, I'm gonna tell you, when I first got back, I went to a cycling class. And I was
Mm.
cycling. I was doing a cycle. And the guy said, come on. You can do it. Keep going. That something struck in my mind of like, I can leave if I want to. When you're doing PT, you just can't stop and leave.
Right.
I'm like, I can leave. And it takes us a long time to
It does.
realize I don't really have to listen to these people no more.
I
So
don't.
yeah, it's hard. It's
Okay.
good and hard.
And Bernard, y'all, we got to tell
Pause.
you all. I know we're talking about from the veteran perspective, but I want you all to know that, and when we use the word term civilians, we just refer to civilians because these are non-military. So for the
Non-military.
purpose of this podcast, because we're talking about veterans, we're going to refer to people that have not served in the military as civilians. Okay,
Correct, because
let's
they
say
have
that.
they have went through grief. I did not
Right.
know. I did not know when I was over there. My kids were back here worried about. Can you imagine going to school and hearing all this stuff about the? So it's a that war was over 20 some years.
Yeah.
It damaged so many people. It
Yeah.
damaged so many families. It
Yeah.
damaged so many marriages. It damaged
Yes.
so many people. And I truly believe, and I probably get a letter from the VA and the Department of the Army that it was an unjust war. I'm just gonna say that. Yeah. So,
Hey, a lot of people feel that way.
yep.
I
So
think a lot of things that happens when we serve in the military, we have our own um feelings and perspectives about.
correct.
However, when you serve, you have to serve no matter what.
You have to serve no matter what.
But guess what? You out now. They can't take nothing from you.
There you go.
They
There you
can't,
go.
because everything is valid and it's, as they say, it's accounted for.
It's accounted for. I
It's
mean,
accounted for.
I never
Uh,
forget. Well, I never forget my young kids. They was when I went into the war the first time. My child was 3 months old. When I came back, I went back. My second child was 3 months old. So each time I went, but
wow.
but when they would scream, it felt like incoming.
Whew.
It felt like incoming. And we in the same neighborhood. So when they fire them fireworks on July the 4th, I'm
Woo.
good. I'm good on July the 4th.
Because I know the
I
environment. I
know.
know what to
There
expect.
you go. But the 6th, 7th, and 8th, hoo-hoo.
I know.
So I mean, it's something that we're gonna live with for the rest of our life, but it's something that we are learning to deal with and learning to understand that, hey, I have it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
live with it, but I'm not gonna allow it to overtake me. I'm gonna
Right.
overtake it.
I like that. I like that, Bernard, because it's people up here listening that can relate and haven't served
And have
or
it. There you
haven't been in
go.
the military,
Yep.
or may not be a dependent or a spouse or a child of someone that has served. Because if you
Correct.
are one of those, then you pretty much have served with us in a way, in some
Mm-hmm.
capacity. But if you're one of our listeners that have not served or no affiliation with the military, you all have heard what we're saying and you feel the exact same thing,
That's right.
because of life, what you're dealing with stress.
There you go.
Manage your stress.
Stress would take you out.
It will.
And there's a lot of people who grew up with family members who were Vietnam veterans.
Yeah.
And they didn't know about PTSD. They was called shell shock.
Shell shock.
They was
Yeah.
called this. So when I came back, that was one of my biggest things to fight this PTSD thing, because I had a cousin, or I don't know if he's a cousin, whoever he was, but his name was Billy. And he used to go to the VA hospital, and they used to call him crazy. They used to say, get over there, boy, you stupid. So I didn't want to be the one.
Yeah.
So I fought everything not to do it till I was almost I was dying.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. Let's talk about the some of the benefits for veterans and spouses or dependents for the veterans. Let's talk about
Well, this one benefit is I'm on anxiety med, so if I had one drink, it feel like I had six. So that's one benefit, right?
and somebody probably put in the comments, what medication is
One
that?
minute. No,
And look,
I went to my doctor, and we were talking about. I said, "No, sir, I'm good." He said, "I'm tell you right now, the meds you on there. If you had one drink, it's gonna feel like you had six." I said, "So why you telling me that then?"
right. I mean, come on. What you want me to do? Because a lot of us
Oh
veterans, what
God.
we do, they cope with just drinking. A
They
lot of them drink.
numb yo. That was me. Numb. Let's be numb. Yeah. So yeah, but you got to laugh about a lot of stuff. But there's a lot
You
of
do.
resources out there. There's a lot of
It is.
my best resources is the vet center.
Okay.
The vet center is just go vet center is in right now is in Chesapeake, but
hmm
they could not offer me meds. But what I did, I had a therapist and I had group therapy.
And which is one of the best
I had
forms.
group therapy, and my wife went to a session for spouses. And when she came back home, one time she was like, "Babe, I love you. You are not as bad as someone." So she heard the other
Wow.
stories, and she was like, "Okay, I don't have it as bad as XYZ." Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
But I'm glad you said it. So that's a good thing, and it's a thing that a lot of people try to rationalize, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So I want everybody out there to listen to what Bernard just said. His wife went to a group with other spouses where their husband served,
Mm-hmm.
or wife. No,
Or wife.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, or wife served. And when she went to that group, that spouse support group, she came back to her husband and said, "I love you. I am glad." Pretty much, you're not doing half of what they're
Have
doing, right?
right.
A lot of times we can look at what other people do just to make sure that we are still supporting our spouse in a way that we should. That's a
Correct.
good thing.
Correct.
But on the flip side, when you rationalize that, you sort of deflect or you sort of take away from what you're really going through.
Correct.
So I'm glad that she was able to see, Bernard, that you know what? It's really not that bad. It's
Mm-hmm.
bad,
It's bad.
but it's others out here that's going through worse,
Going through
right?
worse. That's right.
And so for my viewers out there, when you are going through something, how do you deal with it? Put in the comments. How do you deal with it? Do you stay to yourself?
Mm.
Do you have that person that you can confide in, that you know when you talk to them, they're not going to come back days or months later and call you crazy or throw it in
Mm.
your face? Do you have that family member or family members that you can go to and talk to?
Mm.
Who is your support circle?
Right.
Or if you don't, do you know what those support hotline numbers are? We're going to give y'all that information at the end. But these are the things that I want you all to think about, veteran and non-veteran.
Correct. Correct. See, my wife knows that there's three people that she can call.
Okay.
Three people she can call because sometimes, much as I love her, I don't want to hear from her. I
Yeah.
don't want it. So she'll call my boy. She said, "Hey, talk to your boy. He tripping right now. He talking about quitting comedy. You
Yeah.
know, he talking about XYZ." And they'll call me, and I'll be like, "Man, I know she called you. I know, but
Wow.
she has that permission to call and give them. So you have to give your spouse free reign if you trust your spouse, your other spouse circle, because
Mm,
sometimes they don't want to hear it from you. Not
mm.
that they don't love you or nothing, but I know if my boy call, I know certain things he just gonna be like, "What's going on, man? Holler at me."
Yeah.
Ain't no judgment, ain't no this, but I got one friend I can call and I tell him, I said, "Man, she getting on my nerve. So what you doing?
Oh, oh,
So what you
accountability.
doing? So what are you doing to cause some of this?" And you got to understand that that person on the other side loves you enough to say, "Man, I don't want to see any of your downfall." So you can be mad at me. I done had some friends I ain't talked to in 2 or 3 days, but I go back and say, "Yo, man, you was right, man. My bad." They're like, "All right, Negro, we know it was out, so you
Right.
got to know that somebody loves you and trusts you, and you trust them because you understand too, when we was in a situation in the war, we was told don't trust nothing
Yeah.
because whatever you trust could be the thing that kills you. So
There
when
you
you
go.
come back, I don't trust nothing.
That's right.
I don't trust. So
Paranoid. Somebody always out to
parent,
get you.
somebody
Yeah.
always out to get you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
it's just something that I live with, my family have lived with, and I never allowed them to walk on eggshells. Once we laugh. You know what I'm saying? My kids, my therapist had a nerve to tell my daughter that she needs to protect her dad. I don't know why she told her that. She 21.
Woo.
You better not say nothing to her dad. You better not. She was talking about because she explained to her about my PTSD and stuff like that. So even my kids now, if they going through something, they know how to bring it to me. I mean,
Wow.
it is techniques we have to learn if anything else was going on.
But no, I like that how you really have your family truly involved because for me, um, my husband has the patience. Like if I had patience like him, I
Mm-hmm.
think I really could deal with a lot of this.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
still have the issues, but I could deal with it. I'm more of like a firecracker. I tell people all the time, I don't even know how I deal with myself half the time. And people think they'll laugh, but I'm serious.
I'm serious.
Hey, Bernard, I'm dead serious. If I could have an outer experience, I probably would slap my own self. I'm serious. Like, I'll look at him. I'm like, you know what? God knew what he was doing when he brought him because he's like my
Yes.
calmness. Like for
Yes.
real, I can take something from 0 to 100. I'm looking at him like, why you not at 100 with me? I'm looking at him like, oh, so that wasn't as bad. And so he'll let me act how I'm acting. He'll come back and we'll talk about it. Right.
Mm.
Sometimes I will purposely trigger him and try to make him mad so he can be mad like me because
Me,
I'm like,
right.
oh, I'm always the one walking around here that's in the mood
Mm-hmm.
or irritable or
Mm-hmm.
upset, and I hate it. Bernard, I
Mm-hmm.
hate being
I
like
do.
this a lot
I
of
hate
times.
it. Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Just to hear my wife sometimes say, "You don't like me, do you?" I'm like, baby.
Oh my gosh,
I'm
that
like,
just hurt
baby.
my heart.
I'm like, baby, it ain't that. Come on, no.
Right? It just hurt my heart, like right. Because as soon as we close that front door, hi, how are you? Yes, have a great day. You want to say, get out, man. Like I'm not in the mood right now. I don't want to deal with nobody. Like, just
Nobody.
keep it real.
That's right.
But we wear so many masks. We
Mass.
do so much. Think about it as parents.
Mm-hmm.
As parents, whatever your role is, you have so much you have to do and
Do.
still be accountable for what you do, how you talk to people,
Mm-hmm.
how you respond to people. Come home, deal with the kids. I don't care what's on your mind. You still got to love them,
Yep.
get them ready. While you still got stuff to do, be a good husband, be a good wife. Like it's a lot,
It's a
Bernard.
lot. This
So for
it
some people, it's easy to end it all, right?
that's it right there. Yep.
It's easy.
End it all or walk away from it all. It's like,
That's
why that
it.
man leave his family? Why he do? Because I ain't got time. I can't do it. But I rather them walk away than do crazy stuff. To
Now I
yeah,
agree. I agree.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's the thing that says a thin line. It really is a thin line between sanity and insanity.
it is.
I had to
It
train my
is.
I had to train myself no more road rage. I had to really train myself. I jumped out the car without a gun, like I'm gonna do something to somebody. I can't fight. I had a
I
fight in the
did.
seventh grade. Can't fight.
I did that too.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do? Tell him a joke. So it's like I had to, and I found out when I was driving to work, my wife was on pins and needles. What is he gonna do today? I got in an accident and drove the total car all the way to work.
Wait a minute. Oh,
The
hold up.
bumper, huh? The bumper was hanging off. I got
Where
to
you
the
thought
front.
you was at? Hold up. What did you? You was getting out of the zone, like were you getting out
No,
of the war zone?
I, I I had 5 tickets. I was speeding, and I had 5 tickets. If I had got one more, they was taking my license. They told me that. But this accident, I was trying to get over, and somebody came up behind, and I swerved back over, and I hit the guardrail, and the bumper was hanging off. And the guy was like, "Yo, man, what you gonna do?" I said, "Man, I'm going to work." I drove all the way to Fort Eustis. I got to the front gate. The guard was like, sir, you look like you just damaged this car. You're not gonna be able to go home." So I drove all the way back home.
What?
My wife was like, "Something is okay, okay. What are we gonna
Oh,
do?"
Bernard.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm telling you, people don't know what my family has put up with to get to where we are now.
Wow.
To where we are now. I mean, when I do my comedy, people like, "Man, you get on stage, you kill it." But they don't know the backstage. My wife done got everything already prepared for me. So all I got to do is put it on and walk on stage.
Wow.
People don't understand what a spouse goes through to make sure. And the thing I love about my wife is she don't care about being in the front.
Mm.
She'll be in the back the whole time because she probably back there cleaning. Because she got that when I said PTSD married to OCD. Her OCD drives me crazy too. So we
I
just
bet
sit
the
around.
house clean.
It's clean. God knows it's clean. Too clean. But anyway, so we did. How I said PTSD married to OCD. So we go through that. We go through that, and for her to put up with me, because I, as you said, I'd be like, I don't see how you do it, because I won't put up myself sometimes.
I know. I know. I'm telling you. And the thing is, when I first seen you that night at Leticia event, when I tell you I laughed. And I even laughed through things that if somebody else would say it wouldn't be funny.
It's
But
all how you deliver it. Yep.
right, coming from you and how you deliver it and how you say it. And I say that only because somebody that's not a veteran that can make a joke about something,
There you
you
go.
really don't have that permission to.
There you go.
Right?
There
But
you go.
you are being a comedian, a veteran, having all the resources, the tools, everybody can relate to your comedy.
Yeah.
And when you can relate to somebody comedy, and then on the top on the other end, it's somebody that you know that's really telling the truth about a lot of stuff, you will keep being booked.
Book
That's why your calendar's so packed.
packed because what they know is I'm going to be authentic.
That's right.
I'm not lying about the mental illness. I'm not
That's right.
lying. I'm telling the truth. And when I talk to the vets in my shows, oh, they love it. They come to
Yeah.
me like, man, I understand. And
Yeah.
that's what it's all about, bridging that gap, because that gives me a way to talk about seeking help, talking
Yes.
about killing the stigma, talking about worrying about what somebody think because you going to therapy. No,
Mm.
no, we got to.
And you know, I want to tell people that um you know, a lot of comedy shows sell out. You know why they sell out?
Because people need to laugh. What?
That's it.
Yeah.
People need to laugh, but not only that, it's
Okay.
because whenever they go to a show,
Mm-hmm.
they are around people who has the same commonality as them, right? The same commonality.
They come to
Somebody
laugh.
that, right, coming to laugh, somebody coming to have a good time. They're in an environment where they can, if you laugh loud or be the loudest one in there, nobody will single you out,
You
right?
gotta.
Because in life, when you try to be different or when you do things, people have a tendency to signal you out. They judge you, they talk about you,
Oh my
right?
God.
But when you can be in a capacity
Yep.
to do things and be genuine and feel like you're not judged, then you're going to conform to those areas.
And I want to say, people. My daughter goes to Virginia Tech. So
Mm-hmm.
people ask me, man, you can go to the football game where they yelling and screaming. I said, because I know if Virginia Tech do something good, we all screaming.
You have that
If they
control
do
of
something
knowing that.
bad, we all. If they do something bad, we all. Oh, so I can be as loud and as ignorant as I want, long as I'm cheering from and no one judge me. I don't look different. It's like
Right.
you hit the nail. You hit that whatever the nail in the hammer. I don't do no work,
Hey,
so I don't know if the
look,
nail or the hammer come first. But yeah,
hey, look,
you
hey, hey, look. Is it the nail on the head? You already hear me try to say, who lead the horse to the water? Is that right? The water to the horse. Look, I always get that wrong. I always get that wrong too. My husband tell me I have my moments where somebody make a joke and I'd be the only one not laughing. I'm like, what they say? What they say? That's
listen.
me. That's
I
me.
had to I had to go to DMV today,
Mm-hmm.
and I got so confused. I just told the lady, "Ma'am, I'm going to take my time so I can get this right. Because if I don't, it's going to be a scene in here. Because you're going to think something's wrong with me." And she looked at me.
Didn't you feel it on the inside,
She
Bernard?
said,
Didn't
"Take
you
your
feel it?
time." Yeah, I can.
Didn't you
I
feel
can.
it?
I don't
Yeah.
like dealing with. I don't like doing that. I can't. Ugh.
Bernard, and I think like so you hit a lot of things on the head. Because me, I know when if people know when I start stuttering a lot,
Mm.
or if I feel like if I'm becoming very combative with you or debate a lot,
Uh
that
huh.
means that you're starting to frustrate me, right? My husband, hey, look, we'll be somewhere. My husband look at me like, or now he'll say, he'll do this and say, or he'll tap my leg like, stop. And I'll get quiet. I'll bite my tongue because you're frustrating me. I can get very irritable with things that don't make sense. Because in the military, they teach you to act now, think later,
Later.
right? So if there's a solution, if there's a problem, I don't want to hear all of this. Let's come up with a plan and make it happen. You know why? Because back then, if you think too long, somebody might die. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't meet deadlines, you might lose someone. So now it's like whenever I'm coming up with solutions and working with a group of people, I can't take all of the complaining. I don't do well with complaining.
But you
That's
know
why
what
I'm
though?
really good with solutions.
But you know what though? I had to learn my family is not the army.
I know. Oh Lord, my husband hear that, he'll be like, "Woo, tell again, Bernard."
My family is not the.
You heard him.
I heard it.
You-
My family is not the army. I had to really. My family is not. It is hard
It is,
when
Bernard.
you
It
have been
is.
trained a certain way for so long.
Can we toast to that?
Let's toast to that.
All right.
I said that right there. I was speaking to some students at Hampton University, and I said that right there that I had to realize my family is not the army. This young girl came up to me, and she was like, "Thank you for saying that." I felt like I was in the army growing up because her father was in the military, and it's like, wow. I mean, it's just that's what that's what you're raised.
And I'm learning a lot from you tonight because through therapy, and my husband has been in therapy with me and couples therapy, and
Hmm.
you know, I tell people that's the purpose of my podcast, to keep it real. I can
Right.
be vulnerable, and I want others to know that somebody like me do struggle,
And
right?
you don't have to go to always people like, oh, y'all going to therapy. Sometimes it ain't nothing wrong.
It's not, thank you. Say that again.
Sometimes
Say
it
that
ain't nothing
again.
wrong. We just can't understand each other. I'll call my therapist and say, hey, we need you.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Secure
Yeah.
messenger. Look, I'm going through something. I really
Yeah.
don't want my husband in this house right now. I need time away. Like for real, sometimes I want to go get a hotel somewhere and just go later and don't be around them nor the kids. I want my me. I don't want to deal with none of y'all right now. Okay? I already got too much going on in here.
Oh
I
my
don't want to deal
God.
with none of that right now.
Come on now.
I do.
Yeah.
And then it's like for him, he is very open to going to the therapy with me. So I appreciate a lot of things you
Right.
said tonight, and I'm going to put it in my toolkit. One
Come
thing
on
I'm going
now.
to put in there is that my family is not the army, right?
Mm-hmm.
My friends is not the army. And I allow a lot of my close friends and family to be able to come to me and say, that wasn't right how you acted.
That,
Don't do that.
there you
I,
go.
I let them do that. I give
Right.
them, but I haven't learned to let somebody else I don't know do that to me. Then I'm
And
just, you know, and
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 and,
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 and
and because we have trained, we have been taught you can't trust everybody.
can't.
Or you
I
can't
know what
trust
you're
it.
motivated.
So it's like there you go. So
Right.
sometimes that's a good thing too, because that third sense will kick in.
It
But
does.
like I said, I have learned to listen to my wife. Now all the stuff she say, sometimes I try not to. Okay, but then sometimes I come back and say, "All right, baby, you was right. You was right.
Yeah.
You was right."
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. This is
I'll
excellent.
say the divorce rate in the military is one of the highest.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't, military and people that have retired,
Mm-hmm.
and people with a diagnosis. A lot of people out here don't think that they have depression. They might have
Correct.
depressed symptoms if you, because there are criteria for you to receive a diagnosis for any type of mental health disorders. Some people can just have adjustment disorders, right?
That's what they call it.
Something
That's
that's
yep.
something brief, right? And
Yep.
so I just need for everybody to know that whatever you're going through, feel it
Right.
mentally, physically, psychologically, emotionally, whatever. I need for you to write it down
Mm-hmm.
and realize, are these things happening around the same time of the day? What things are
Mm.
triggering me, right? Who is triggering me? What am I feeling in my body physically when I feel it? Am I feeling tension in the back of
Wow.
my neck? Am I feeling pain in my shoulders?
Mm-hmm.
Where am I feeling this at? When? What helped me relieve the stress? Did I stop and take a moment? Did I take a deep breath? Did I self meditate for a moment? Did I ground myself?
Come on
Did
now.
I pick up the phone and call somebody and talk to them about it?
Did I
This one,
pray?
did I pray?
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is called self awareness, you
There you
all.
go.
The key behind everything we're talking about tonight, whether you're a veteran or a non-veteran,
Yep.
whatever you're feeling through, if you don't know, it's called self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Self-awareness. Get some help too. I know we are like right at the hour, but I'm gonna go. That's the good thing about having our own podcast. We can stay on long as we want to. So, but I'm gonna give 5 more minutes. Bernard, tell them exactly where you get your therapy from. Is it from the VA, and how often did you have to get therapy to get to the point where you are now, where you and your wife and your family is somewhat thriving?
Mm-hmm. Well, I started. I have two therapists. I got the VA, which
Yeah,
they the ones that can do medication,
yeah.
and I got the vet center. The vet center incorporates the entire family.
Oh, okay,
That's what I
okay.
liked about the vet center. The VA only does it. You know, they just do. I don't know if they got support groups for family. I'm sure they do, but I just see that therapist and they give me my medication. The vet center is where I had really had to do the work.
Okay. Okay.
When I got into the group therapy, when I got into my wife was able to go to a group. My kids were able to come to, well, not all of them, but most of them was able to come to the therapist and learn about what I was going through. So
Yeah.
it was more of a holistic thing for the whole
Okay.
family. And it
Perfect.
wasn't all about medication. It was all about, hey, your spiritual life. It was
That's right.
all that incorporated. So that was a thing. But I had to stay on the meds though, because I tried my best to get off them, and I could see there was a difference. There was a difference in where I
It
was acting.
is.
So
It is because meds doesn't really work by itself. You got to put the work in with the therapy as
there you
well.
go.
So they both work together.
I've been going on for about, I would say, since about 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, because I go for different parts of my life. When my daughter went to college, I had to go from that. You know, I had to go
Okay.
talk to my therapist about that. Now, how am I going? Because she was here, so now I
Mm-hmm.
could see.
Oh,
Now she go to
control.
college. There you go. There you go.
Control.
So it was like that. Then when my son went, it was easier. You know, me and my wife, because in the marriage you grow.
Yeah.
You got to use different emotions. I don't want to
And
use all these emotions. I don't want to use them. No, I don't want to use. I don't like talking on the phone.
yeah.
And I had to ask my therapist, why I don't like talking. She said, because when you on the phone, you have to use your emotions.
Oh,
When you texting, all you gotta do is text and wait for a response. But when you talking, you have to sit still and use your emotions. My wife used to ask me, how come when the phone ring, you always pick it up on the first? Because when I was in Iraq, I was signal, so I had a radio. If you don't answer soon or quick, you think either you don't want them to think you're dead or they think you. So now you
yeah.
call me, I'm picking up first time.
Yeah.
Because, or if I call you and you don't pick up the third or fourth time, my mind going, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with him?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just how I was programmed.
Wow.
That's just how I was
I,
programmed.
I,
And
I tell you, life itself, no matter what, everything that comes your way in life, there is a underlying message behind it.
yes.
Everything. I want to leave with you telling people how they can follow you, where they can find. I know you have a schedule somewhere where people can come to your shows, talk about your radio station. I want you to tell people, and then at the end, I want you to go back to my page and post that information.
Okay. Let me leave folks with this first.
Okay.
You have to be okay with people not wanting to be around you because you have a certain mental illness.
Yeah.
I am okay that people might not want to be around me because, you know, I might zone out, I might do this, or they might not think, oh, he might go off one day. I'm okay. I had to get okay with that
Yeah.
and not be mad at them. I get it. Because
That's
certain people
right.
we don't want to be around.
That's right.
But you can follow me on all social media at The Laugh Therapist. You can go to my website, www.thelaughtherapist.com. You can also hear me every morning on the Jamal Bates Morning Show. We are a syndicated radio show. We are on in several locations, but if you go to my website, you can click on the link and you can hear us in the morning from 6 to 10. Now, we come on here in this area on praise, but we come on at 2 o'clock in the morning. So
Okay.
I don't know who's up that early, but we also on Black Gospel Net. So it's just God is just blessing me that this is keeping me alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when I had to resign from my government job, I felt like a failure. When I
Ooh.
went through a divorce, I felt like a failure.
Yeah.
When I knew my kids had to uh, 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 not have their parents in the same house, I felt like a failure.
Yeah.
So being able to go on stage and being able to give back, it gives me something. It's like, okay, there was a purpose in all my dysfunction.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. So yeah.
And you said the Laugh Therapist or laughtherapist.com.
www. If I got, well, I shouldn't have to say www, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
Yeah. So
www.thelaughtherapist.com.
it's the Laugh Therapist. Okay, that's where I did it
Yeah,
wrong.
thelaughtherapist.com.
Okay. At least want to put that in there.
Mm-hmm.
The laughtherapist.com. Okay. And they can find your shows and everything there too, right?
Well, not there. I put them on social media, but I will be stop putting them on there because most of them are private. Some of them are open.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, some of them are
Okay.
private events, and I'll put private beside it, and I'll put open beside it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, I surely appreciate you tonight. I know we was going to talk about some benefits and stuff too, but I'm kind of glad that that left room for us to talk about the benefits when we come on your podcast.
Yes.
All right. We can
Yes.
cover a lot of the benefits there, and those benefits will cover the 100%
Mm-hmm.
difference between 100% permanent total,
Mm-hmm.
the unemployability, just being 100% without the permanent total, because there's a difference and there are
Correct.
benefits that come with that.
And
The
we'll be talking about what you provide.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
yes. At Presidential Funeral Services, we do a lot of free services, and one of those things are pre-burials. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't know about Albert G. Horton Cemetery, where the loved one can be buried there for free,
Yep.
and of course, the veteran is buried there for free. Of course, that's with the honorable discharge. But there's a lot of stuff, and we could talk about that on your podcast as well.
Not a problem.
Okay.
We definitely will.
Yes. So again, thank you so much for coming on. I really
Thank you.
appreciate you. Laughter is truly a healthy dose of therapy. And I want you to
Yes.
tell us again what we know PTSD is post traumatic stress disorder, but tell us what yours is again because I love it.
Processing traumatic situations differently.
And that just makes it feel so much better to people who are afraid to say they have a mental illness.
There you go.
Thank you all so much. Look, don't give up.
There you
If
go.
you ever have thoughts of wanting to harm yourself, if you do not trust anyone or do not have anyone to call in that moment, they have made it so easy. And this is veteran, non veterans. All you
Correct.
have to do is dial
Eight
988.
eight. Yep.
Okay? Just dial 988.
That's
And
it.
if you can't remember that, dial 911.
Mm-hmm.
Your life is precious. You're here for a reason. And there is support out here for you. And this coming from a person, myself and Mr. Bernard, who have told you and shown you what it looks like on the inside, what it looks like on the outside, but how it feels every day
Mm-hmm.
and what we do to deal with it. We're going to keep laughing.
Yes, we are.
We're going to keep getting therapy, and we're going to keep loving ourselves because love starts within. This is your girl Deborah with Talk Your Talk, where I come to you on Thursdays at 7 o'clock. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you so much to Laugh
Thank
Therapy.
you for
I
having
can't
me.
wait to talk to you to be on your podcast, and you are so welcome. Have a good
Thank you.
night.
You too.